halfway there, guys. So in at number 5, I thought it was Harry Potter in the corner, but it's Hagrid dressed as Timbo, so shh. The reason I say that is because in at number 5 is the Alien from Mugler. And the reason that I'm saying that is because apparently the bottle is supposed to look like a philosopher's stone, like purple and mysterious, like a jewel or much sought after gem. So this again is a beautiful fragrance. This one is classed as an oriental woody, and this is a bit like 3 really intense notes. So when you spray this, you have a really fresh blast of jasmine, and I must admit I am a bit of a jasmine girl. And then in the heart notes you've got cashmere and woods, and then you've got amber on the base, so you've got really fresh, woodsy and beautiful warm essences all together. And I do wear the Alien. This is like one of the fragrances that you can wear all year round, because during the summer you pick up on those beautiful fresh jasmine, and then more in the winter time you've got those woods and that warm ambery note as well. And this absolutely lasts a treat on the skin. The other thing about Mugler fragrances are that they are refillable, and a lot of ladies love that because they save about £20 each time that they're coming in and getting their bottles topped up. So this one here is sort of like, it's definitely one for that lady that's not frightened to be noticed, something that's sort of like elegant but unusual as well. So any of the number sort of like Chanel's, like number 5, or the Mademoiselle, which contain jasmine in them, this one is an ideal fragrance for, or for the lady that's quite into sort of like maybe trying something new. This one I would definitely recommend. So in at number 5 is the Mugler Alien. And in at number 4, I couldn't go without mentioning one of my favourite fragrances, and this has been selling extremely well. So in at number 4 is the Creed Aventus For Her. So this is one of our most popular ladies fragrances within the Creed range, and that's because it's quite unusual. It's definitely quite of now sort of fragrance, because when you first spray this, the first thing that you smell, which is quite unusual, is patchouli, and that's because you've got the patchouli in the top note, but then that's freshened off with essences of bergamot, lemon, and you've got fresh apple along with pink pepper and violet in there. So it's sort of like got a real tang and sort of like woodsiness initially, but again you've got those traditional heart notes of rose, which you've got also sandalwood, which make it sort of like quite creamy, and then you've got again more fruits in the base, which is a bit more unusual. So you've got things like, you've got blackcurrant and you've got peach in the base, but then you've got ambery notes and you've got more woods and patchouli in there as well. So when you first smell this, it does smell sort of like quite fruity, spicy, but as it settles, it just blends onto the skin deliciously. I know that when I first smelt it, I thought, don't know if this is going to be one that I would wear. So I didn't wear it. And then Tim and I went out for a day, and then we went into another store and I sprayed it. And then about 3 people stopped me and said, you smell delicious. What are you wearing? And it was this. It was the Aventus For Her. So if you're looking to buy your lady something a bit extra special for Christmas, because this does come with a bit of a heftier price tag, but I am a big believer in you get definitely what you pay for, because the quality of Creed's fragrances is second to none. I would say definitely go and give this a try, especially if your lady likes those sort of like warmer, more woodsy, more spicy essences, you know, or even some of those more fruity types as well. Definitely go and get her a Creed, because I always say to all the gentlemen that come in store, happy woman, happy man. So remember that. So number 4 is Creed Aventus For Her. So in at number 3. Oh, 3. And I hope Timbo's taking notes, because again, it's one of my favourite ones. Timbo Santa, remember these, won't you?
I've sponsored a distressed donkey for you.
Yeah. Anyway, at number 3 is the Chanel number 5 Eau de Parfum. Oh my goodness, I just adore this fragrance, along with I don't know how many other ladies. So I love the complete story about this. I love the fact that Marilyn Monroe wore this. I love those cool, icy notes that when it was first created, it was supposed to replicate sort of like the Arctic. So I just absolutely adore this. So you've got those cool, sparkling aldehydic top notes of this, along with those fresh sort of like rose and jasmine onto the oak moss and the woodsy base, which just make this just like one absolutely fantastic fragrance. So easy to wear. Massively, I think, underestimated, because I think that there's still a lot of people that think that this is really old fragrance. But again, from my experience, so many more sort of like younger ladies now are coming in, are wearing this on the skin, and are absolutely loving Chanel. So number 5 does fantastically. In actual fact, number 5 and one of the other ones, which is actually hit number 1 from Chanel, is sort of like vies for pole position. But definitely this has to be sort of like at number 3. So again, for that lady that likes those sort of like woodsy, fresh, beautiful sort of like floral fragrances, then number 5, you can never ever go wrong with number 5 from Chanel. So if the lady likes those florals, anything like the Sea or the J'adore from Dior, anything like that, then this is definitely one for her. The fact that it might remind you of Marilyn Monroe, hey, who's taking any notice? So that is my number 3. But it's also like, personally, one of my number 1s, but shh. And now on to the number 2 slot. And this one is perhaps the bestseller from Yves Saint Laurent, which is the YSL Black Opium. And I mean, it's just such a beautiful bottle. It's all sparkly. You can never go wrong with some sparkles. And this one is classed as an Oriental Vanilla. So when you spray this, oh, that was right in the face there. When you smell this, definitely you get a real sort of like kick initially. You've got like a sweet pear in there. You've got pink pepper, and oh, that's just lovely. Then you've got in the heart notes, which is sort of probably the most substantial of all of them. You've got a real hit of coffee and bitter almond and licorice, but then that's softened with a lovely rose. And then in the base notes, you've got woods and you've got patchouli, and then you've got that sweet vanilla. But it is just an absolutely beautiful fragrance. And I know that for YSL, this has been a tremendous fragrance for them. I am actually aware of the original sort of like Opium. So what I would say is, if a lady asks for the original Opium, which is a quite spicy fragrance, I wouldn't necessarily go out and get the Black Opium, because the Black Opium is a sweeter fragrance. But for that woman that likes, again, those sort of like sweet vanilla-y, sort of almost nutty fragrances, again, like the Good Girl or the Mont by Guerlain or even the Olympia, the Sea, or those sort of essences, this is definitely one to try. And I know that she will not be disappointed. It is such an iconic, beautiful fragrance. So this is at my number 2 slot, which I know has been amazing for YSL. I know that sales have like skyrocketed this year on the Black Opium. So this is at number 2. And after all your patience, here it is at the number 1 spot. Do, 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 do. Come on, drum roll, Tim. You're no fun,
was
are
a really
you?
good idea filming this after the works party.
You're no fun. Is the Chanel Mademoiselle EDP. So this is just such a delicious, gorgeous, feminine fragrance. It well deserves its #1 spot. Literally between this and then, if you check my review, there is the Chanel Mademoiselle Intense that was brought out. You cannot go wrong. So from the offset, you've got those beautiful fresh top notes. So in there you've got bergamot, you've got orange and grapefruit, just giving it that lovely zesty lift. And then, as with most of the Chanel fragrances, you've got the wonderful jasmine and you've got rose. And then you've got things like lychee in the heart notes. Again, just keeping it light, romantic, sparkling. But in the base, you've got soft notes. So you've got the patchouli in there, but you've got vetiver, which can be sort of quite earthy but soft. And then you've got vanilla in there as well, along with musk. And this is just such an incredibly beautiful, light, fresh, but less on the skin. And every woman that I know that wears this gets so many compliments. So if you are looking for an ultimate sort of like gift for that lady who is sort of like, loves those sort of like feminine, beautiful fragrances, then the Mademoiselle is for her. So definitely go and try this. If you're stuck and you really don't know what to buy, this is at the #1 slot for me anyway. So between this and the Intense, definitely you cannot go wrong. So that is my #1, and this is the Chanel Mademoiselle Eau de Parfum. I mean, just look at it. It just shouts beautiful, feminine and elegant. So that's my top 10 anyway. A lot of these fragrances that I've shown you today, I have done early reviews like I've said. So please, if you're still not quite sure which one to go for, go and check out some of my previous videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out that bell. Yeah, ring the bell, that's what I meant to say. And also, all I want to say to all of my subscribers is thank you so much for supporting us this year. Thank you for all of your comments. I know I've been a bit lax. I've got loads to comment to, which I will definitely get round to. And I've got some wonderful fragrances that I will be bringing you and reviewing for 2019. And all that there is for me to say right now is have a fabulous Christmas. I hope Santa or Mrs. Claus brings you exactly what you want this year. So take care for now. Have a lovely Christmas and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now. Oh, Timbo, I better go stick this back on the Christmas tree anyway. Oh, it looks like my halo slipped. Hey, what can a girl do? I've been very good this year.